What's going on, guilty guys and gals? Welcome back to Straw 2. My OBS has been acting up. It's just been like, encoder error, sorry. Say goodbye to your recording. And I'm like, cool. So, I think I fixed it now. Should be fine. I've gotten through the first, 20 minutes of this before I realized it wasn't recording, which was unfortunate. But, you know, at least now I know that we're back in Sora's head this time. Shock, horror, fear, rage. Those would have been the normal reaction. It was, after all, a very abnormal scene. However, when I look back, the first emotion I felt was awe. Yep, something's going on with her for sure. Something weird, and I'm not liking it. Why was I in such awe as I watched it happen? Why did I feel awe from witnessing Yuki almost kill Shinji? Perhaps it was because of that awe that I did such a thing. If I just let things be like this, then he would become the Blackened. There would be a class trial, and he would be executed. And I cannot let that happen. I should be the one to protect him. I tell myself I tried to ignore and resist it. But that voice rang inside me, clear as clear can be. Hello! I don't know why it said that. The voice of a demon hiding somewhere deep within me. Hi, my name's Jeff. I'm your inner demons. I gripped the glass shard using Nikke's unconscious hands and cut Shinji's throat right then and there. Bum 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 bum. Yep. Yikes. Does that mean... Hold on, I have to take a drink. Nikke's the Blackened? So that was why Sora was so insistent on Nikke being the culprit. Yeah, she only knew this. And only she knew this, rather. Even Nikke Yumuri himself didn't know he was the culprit. But, tell what happened would also be to announce the sin she'd committed. So she hesitated on it, as you'd expect from her. Everybody's a little blue in the face right now. Don't. This time I will remember to censor myself, though, because we're still at the beginning of the video. Don't you f with me? What the hell did you do with my treasured hand? Nikke, why don't we calm down first and... I'm sure that'll work. Good job. Calm down? How can anyone calm down from this? Even I would be bewildered by this turn of events if I was the one experiencing it. But I'm not, so I'm not. To become the culprit without even knowing. This doesn't count. This class trial shouldn't count. I did literally nothing. Sora's obviously the culprit here. I have nothing to say. I'm just so sorry. You think sorry's gonna solve my problem? If I turn out to be the Blackened, I'm going to die here now! But I thought you said that dying here doesn't mean you die for real. If this was the real world, I would have never tried such a thing. I know that's a petty excuse, but after this is all over, I'll make it up to you in any way possible. So, please. But this is going a bit too far. Didn't I also tell you that if we don't know what could happen to our bodies, even if we die. Even if we don't die. I think that's probably... You're basically telling me to endure whatever that's going to be, as long as it's not death? That's not what I meant. If you knew so well you weren't going to die from this, then why didn't you sacrifice yourself? He's got some good points. You know, being a journalist, you expect it. Or did you really want to continue this school trip that badly? I betrayed the Voids, helped you out, did all of that, and you act like this, you little...
I hate to break up the moment, but... Is there any reason to continue this trial anymore?
It wasn't much of a moment in Roha. It was a heated argument.
What? Well, if Sora's telling the truth, then Nikke's the culprit, right?
There was no reasoning or puzzle solving or whatever, but yeah, we do have our culprit based on those results.
Then why don't we just end it here? I don't want to be in this place anymore. Besides, Nikke was originally the one to...
She almost spilled the beans about Nikke's void escapades. I'm just going to make sure I'm still good. We're still good. Whoops. Wait, hold on. Why are we even believing her in the first place? Forget logic. Why are we believing even this? I killed Shinji using Mr. Nikke's hands BS. She could have just made it up on the spot.
I get why you're unwilling to believe it, but believe it or not, your story does have some grounds. It matches with Yuki Maeda's confession earlier, not to mention with the statements that the others had made.
Still, you have no reason to assume. But even so.
Shoei said it well, so why don't we vote? Wait, guys, just one thing. I'm not trying to cover up for Nikke or anything, but... Nikke didn't have any intent to murder, according to Sora, right?
What? It's true.
I'm just unsure if someone else using Nikke, who was unconscious, to murder Shinji really counts as Nikke being the culprit. What? I don't understand.
Good call, hostess girl. She's got a point. I also believe it's too early to decide on who's the culprit.
Well, at least we have that.
If Nikke Yumuri can be considered a murder method, then we'd have albino girl as our culprit instead. Instead of the newsie.
Nikke has the murder weapon? Care to explain?
Whether Nikke Yumuri could be considered albino girl's murder weapon or not. It's literally what I said, and what I meant.
What? Nikke himself is the murder weapon?
That's impossible. How can one consider a human being a weapon? I'll make the same joke I did last time. Talk to Wolverine about that. Isn't he the one who's like, I'm a living weapon? I don't remember.
Did you ask Monocro about that?
What?
Did you ask Monocro if Nikke Yumuri was decided as the culprit of this case? In the case of Kanade Otonokoji, she asked in advance about if a murder could be considered a double-blackened state. Double-blackened murder. It was to avoid any messy confusion afterwards.
Well, I'm very confused right now, if that answers your question.
I mean, you should have known by now there are no 100% positives in class trials.
I didn't think that far.
See? Even she's unsure of it.
Wait, I don't know if Nikkei could be considered a weapon or not, but if we do consider it to be that way, does that mean...
Yep. Albino girl would be the culprit to kill Shinji Kasai using her murder weapon of choice, Nikkei Yomuri.
Bum bum.
I see. So this is a matter of deciding who's the culprit between Sora and Nikkei. Let's applaud Chiruko, who gave this crucial insight into the case. You might have even let Nikkei live another day.
Wait, me? But that would mean Sora.
Womp bum. Well, obviously Sora's the culprit. A murder has to include the intent to cause harm by the murderer.
But even if she is the culprit, she did it to save me.
So now what? Forget why or how. We can't even decide on who's done it.
This is just a reference, you see? Who done it? Also, I don't know why Yuki thinks it could be him, because, you know, how could this happen to me? There's no way that... How could a human being be considered a weapon, even if he was unconscious? But if it is possible... Oh, mixing... Then what would happen to me? We all know. Don't act like you don't. But yeah, Yuki's like, but she did it to protect me, so wouldn't that make me the murderer? No, Yuki, that's not how that works.
Opinion, split opinion. You know, that's what I'm trying to say.
I like how one side's just 3 people, and then everybody else is like, I mean, I guess I'm on this side.
Like Drew's just like, hey, I'm just chilling, bro. Don't even worry.
Tree, could you at least come to our side so the teams are balanced?
No. No thanks.
Sora used my hand as an object with no murderous intent to commit a crime. She used my hand as a weapon.
I'm sorry, Sora, but you're clearly the one at fault. Sora's the culprit.
I myself am not quite sure how much the rules consider the culprit's intent, but Nikkei literally had none to murder.
There's a phrase called human weapon for a reason, you know?
If Nikkei was conscious even a little bit, it may be considered his crime. But as things stand now... Even before we discuss the matter of weapons, you don't even have evidence. It's not logic at all.
We gotta stop him. We're gonna shove it in his face. My hand is a weapon. Weapons, by definition, should only be objects. So you consider yourself an object, Nikkei?
Nikkei objectifies himself, more at 11.
I'm sorry, Sora.
Sora's not at fault. Technically speaking, I should be the culprit. She did it to protect me.
I myself am not quite sure how much the rules...
You think Ibiki no Koji had the intent to murder? You can't just go ahead and pretend that didn't happen.
There's a phrase called human weapon.
That weapon and this one, why am I even participating in this? Can't you just shut up?
If Nikkei was conscious even a little...
Whether or not Nikkei was conscious doesn't matter. It was his hand that did it, not mine.
Even before we discuss that, you have no logical evidence at all.
Our accounts match with each other. A conviction strong enough can be presented as evidence.
Crouch bind.
Truly, you're not pressing the button. We're going to lose.
No, I'm just chilling.
Truya, you lost it for us. We could have won.
No, man. I just like to watch, okay? I don't know what you guys are up to. I'm just here listening and, like, thinking about stuff. About, like, how much I failed you all. It's fun. I'm having so much fun. So how long are we going to continue this? Sorry, I know my speech got a little long in the tooth, but...
We're not going anywhere if we keep at it like this.
Okay, I'll shut up. I get it.
Meow, Sora, why are you so dead set on being against me? If you thought it was okay for me to die here and be safe in the real world, why didn't you apply the same logic to yourself? Bumpa. And this is the part that sounds weird and ominous. Or is the old, if I do it, it's right, but it's wrong if it's you? Not that one, the next part. Nope, one more. So, are you scared now that it's your body on the line? It's when Sora talks. There we go. It's not the ellipses, okay? I can't leave this world yet. It's that. It's that. There's still something I must do. Like what? What'd you find in that room, huh?
Is there a way we can confirm who's technically the one that did it?
Alright then. Let's not wait any more time and ask someone who should know who done it.
They did it again. Someone who's sure to know the truth?
I wonder who that could be. Wait.
The guy I talked about just a minute ago. Monocro, you listening?
You're talking about me? Of course I'm listening. To my favorite jams.
You should know, right? Whether or not Nikke Yomuri's hand could be considered a weapon.
Just let the song play out. I've forgotten what all music sounded like.
Why aren't you speaking?
When I lost my memory, so now I'm listening to it all for the first time again. It's brilliant. Shobai, you know I cannot answer that question. To answer that question would be to answer who's the culprit between Sora and Nikke. Is that how this works? I thought we were just gonna ask if Nikke could be considered a weapon.
That ultimately decides who's the culprit, after all. So we're basically asking him for the answer. Of course he wouldn't answer back.
I was hoping it was worth a shot since it went haywire a while ago. But you're still bound by those rules?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Now this is quite the troublesome situation we're in. We would have to decide it ourselves if Monaco can't outright tell us.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Hold on a moment.
Shobai?
Is this Trapped by the Ocean Scent? I can't remember what this one's called, but it's from Stratu. No, SDR2.
Albino, Newsy, and Yuki Maeda. Tell your stories again. You three should talk about what you each heard and did in this case.
What? We already did that. Yuki, why don't we stop complaining and do what he says this once? Maybe he has an idea or something. I agree. We're all going after each other and saying it's your fault. But no, this isn't the time for emotional drama between us. Let's save what we have to say to each other for now and logically think this through once more.
It's not like there's any more to say about this case, though.
Oh, but there is.
As I said before, I was kidnapped by someone, I don't know who. And when I woke up, Nikke was unconscious, and Big Bro attacked me. I don't know why. Those are just two things that we don't have knowledge of in this case. Frightened to death, I grabbed the glass shard, which I don't know how that got there, on the ground and stabbed Big Bro in the neck. Then ran away and pretended I knew nothing.
Same for me. I called Shinji out and was talking to him when he suddenly knocked me out. When I woke up, Shinji had bled out, was dead, and I ran away from the scene.
as I told you before, I went up to the power room through the secret passageway, which we still don't know about, and witnessed Yuki running away from the crime scene. And to save him from being executed, I grabbed the glass shard using Nikkei's hand and cut Shinji's throat, which we still don't know if that actually happened or not. Although I'm assuming it did because it's me. So I still don't know what made me do that.
Seems like this is just a retelling of what they said before.
And you sure you said every last detail? Of course. I mean, every one of us has been exposed already, so there's basically no point in lying. Funny you should say that. Then we have a problem. Who was the one that caused the fire?
Thank you.
Huh? Let's go over the facts. The power room was on fire. There's no doubt about that. According to our alibis, the only people that entered the power room are Albino, Nikkei Yumuri, and Yuki Maeda. Checked. Now let's assume all of you are telling the truth. Where the hell did the fire come from?
Huh? You're right. What happened then?
Aren't you acting a little bit too surprised? Shobai mentioned the fire once before in this trial.
Yeah, but it was glossed over once. It was glossed over once all of you started blaming each other. Now that the three of you have told the actual truth, we need to redress this problem.
But why is the fire even important? The Blacken's bound to be the Sora or Nikkei regardless.
No, you may not have realized this with your barely functioning brain, but Shobai's basically implying that one of the three who visited the power room may be lying.
Yeah, if there was a likelihood of any party falsifying their statement, we need to dig out every last detail until we're sure we got everything right.
I see. So, who caused the fire then?
I wonder. I actually don't know, but I have a suspicion.
I know nothing. I've told you everything I know.
Same here. The fire at the power room. Even I don't know about that. Let's think this through step by step. I might be able to find something new. Well, aside from Shinji, who it's possible could have started the fire, there is one other person who wasn't with someone at the time of the crime, other than Yuruko, but she was at the top of the tower. We kind of know that, because she was looking for Sora, and that makes logical sense. Who saw Sora fall down the stairs, and went to investigate where she was, and has been pressured into trying to kill someone, and is also acting weird during the trial,
Yeah, it's not me, I promise. Except it probably was. I don't know if I actually killed him or not, but I definitely started his body on fire. Somehow.
I don't know how she did it, though. That's still a question for me. How either of them did it. Yuki, then Sora, then Nikkei. That one's still hard, even though I've seen the right answer before. Because Nikkei talks second all the time. Like, he was the second one to leave, when in fact it was Sora. Because she left Nikkei on the floor. Which was very nice of her, you know? Just leave him unconscious at the crime scene, covered in blood, maybe? I don't know. I mean, Nikkei did talk about Shinji's neck like spewing blood, so he should have gotten a bit bloody. There was a space invader. Didn't have eyes, but you know. Who was left inside the power room after Nikkei left? Shinji. This one's really weird. It's like, oh, it wasn't me. No, it was the body. Who was left in the room? The dead guy who died in the room.
Very good. Excellent logic.
Thank you.
All right. This would be like nearly impossible without Yuri's skill. That's what I was trying to say. And I was talking about the first time I watched through this one. Oh, excuse me. Jeez, that came out of nowhere. That I definitely wouldn't have got it either, so I'd be struggling the hell out of these. I probably would have bought it from Shobai, though, once I figured out that's what you could do. If the fire caught on when Shinji was dead, what are the possibilities? Shinji was still alive, Nikkei set up a trap, it was the aftermath of the power room's collapse. No, Shinji was still alive. It's the only thing that makes sense. Bum, 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 bum. One of the answers should have been, I don't know, he spontaneously combusted? Can you imagine if that's actually, like, why he was set on fire?
Spontaneous combustion.
Alright.
Wait, Nikkei, so when you left the power room, the fire wasn't there, right?
Just how many times do I have to repeat myself? Yes, there was no fire.
Now you'll get to see directly the quality difference between 720 and 480, because the last one was 720 and this one's 480.
I thought it was some malfunctioning from the damaged machines that caused the fire.
That means if someone did cause a fire, then it would be after Nikkei left the power room.
Does that mean someone else entered the power room once Nikkei left?
That's impossible! Everyone excluding Sora, Yuki, and Nikkei all have sound alibis.
I mean, Shobai doesn't even have a sound alibi. He was sleeping alone. That's like the most commonly unsound used alibi ever.
Then we're back to deciding between Sora, Yuki, and Nikkei again.
And like I previously mentioned, Iroha was there.
We told you! Even we don't know!
There was one.
But then it doesn't make sense. There's no other person who could have caused the fire.
Dun, dun.
It's exactly as Iroha said. There's no one among us here right now that could have caused that fire.
What? Then what are you trying to suggest, Sora?
I'm saying I might have an idea who actually caused it. Let me cut straight to the chase. We don't need to consider the possibility of someone else entering the power room after Nikkei left.
This isn't cutting to the chase. This is letting people react again.
Because there was one other person in the power room. And that's Shinji.
Bum, 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 bum. What?
Sora, what do you mean? Shinji was dead at that point.
Not necessarily.
But what if he wasn't? If he was still alive, and if he'd caused that fire? Then everything we said up until this point makes sense.
Bum, ba-dum, bum. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Sora, are you hearing yourself? Didn't you say it yourself that you delivered the finishing blow to Shinji?
It's not like I checked, you murderous fiend.
You're literally the last person I expected to say that. And I even considered Teruya. And he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, not to mention it was his second fatal blow he received at the same spot, mind you.
How can anyone be alive after getting stabbed and slashed across the throat?
You can.
Okay, now you're inputting?
Mikado insulted me, so I have to prove him wrong.
What?
Normally anyone would die, but there are cases where someone suffers that and still survives for more than 30 minutes. Just trust me on this.
Was that one of the murder cases? I don't remember that.
What is with you, Mr. Nobody? And you sound like you actually saw someone pulling that off.
Well,
Which one of them was it?
oh,
Obviously he knows. It wasn't the duel. Was it? No, Makako poisoned herself. I don't remember.
Are you alright? Truya?
Let us ignore him and return to the topic at hand. So, are you suggesting that Shinji was still alive after that?
It wasn't the first one. I don't think... No, that was electrocution. I don't know.
This makes no sense. Show me anyone who can sit there alive for 1 minute with a bloody torn apart throat.
Even I think I'm going a bit too far. After all, I'm the one who actually cut his throat. Albeit using Nikke's hands.
You didn't have to bring it up, it just makes me more mad at you.
Yeah, obviously. Kind of funny that the one who actually did it would suggest such a thing.
See? Even you're not sure of the whole thing. And whether Shinji caused the fire or not, he's dead now. Why should we care what a dead person did before they passed away? We need to decide the culprit among the living right now.
No, Nikke, not exactly.
wait, Newsy, what did you just say?
What? I was just saying we should be talking about something else.
Not that.
What? The part about the culprit being one of us?
Ooh, ow.
Yeah, you said the culprit was among the living, eh? Let's break that thought down and think about it this way. Do you have to be alive to become a culprit?
What does that mean?
Shut up. If Shinji Kasai caused the fire, the only ones who were in the power room, the alibis... Got it. We didn't even need to discuss Nikki Yumuri's hand at the beginning. You both ain't the culprit.
Then who are you saying the culprit is? Yuki?
It's not me, I promise. Not him either. Well, technically speaking, there is no murderer in this case.
What?
Shobai, you aren't thinking about what I'm thinking about, are you?
Yup. Shinji Kasai was killed by no other person than Shinji Kasai himself.
Hold on, I need a drink.
In other words, Shinji Kasai killed himself.
Oh. Well, that's convenient. Hopefully that's true.
I'd kind of have problems with that, but not really, honestly.
What?
Somebody has to, like, put their hand on Iroha's mouth. It's like, you're getting too loud. Can't take it.
Jeez, are you trying to blow our ears out?
I knew it.
Wait, what? So it was a suicide? What do you mean? But a suicide isn't a murder? Does that mean the class trial is cancelled? No, suicide is still someone taking someone's life, so it doesn't go against the killing someone rules.
You've got to be kidding me. Shobai, are you crazy or something? How can you go from saying that Shinji caused the fire to saying he killed himself? And why the hell would he do something like that anyways?
Well, you really are dull, ain't you? Like I even care about why the beef brain committed suicide.
Hey, we're not in hypnospace.
I just came up with it based on evidence. Evidence? So you're saying there's evidence that Big Bro killed himself?
I wonder if the stun gun had something to do with starting the fire.
Of course there isn't any evidence like that. This isn't a problem of whether or not you have evidence. Sora, you said you killed Shinji using my hands. Then Shinji's obviously dead from that point on. Right?
Left. Shinji committing suicide. Something did feel strange about this case while we were talking about the fire. But even I didn't think that far. I did. That's only because I know how these games work. Shobai must have realized something. We should talk about this more. And I think that, like, Shinji is the type to do that, to protect everyone, right? He wouldn't have any idea who stabbed him. I guess that's a thing, right? There'd be like, he'd seen only Nikke and Yuki, and he only knew he got attacked by Yuki. So he could have killed himself to try to protect Yuki in the same way Sora tried to kill him to protect Yuki. Wait, are we really getting a tutorial for non-stop debate right now? That's crazy. I think we know how that works. Bum, 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 bum. Bruises, burn marks, Monocro, Yoruko's account, broken machines. I still don't know how he did it, though. That's the thing. Did he really use, like, the machines?
Shinji Kasai killed himself.
Impossible! He must have died from getting his throat cut. But if we assume that, then there's no other way to explain the fire. As long as us three are in the position of plausible deniability, Shinji Kasai being still alive and causing the fire is our most logical explanation.
Wait, even if Shinji was alive, I don't get how he went from there to suddenly committing suicide.
I mean, Shinji killing himself after trying to attack us doesn't make sense in the first place. It's not like we have proof of it anyways.
That is indeed true, but then we're left with too many contradictions.
We need to find proof that Shinji killed himself. Is it the... Okay, broken machine, sure. I definitely wouldn't have gotten this one. I just don't have any clue. I would have just tried it all on this, because that's the obvious one you have to hit. I just don't know what you did it with. No? Okay. Minus point. Skip too far. Whoa. That sound is weird when it loops up. Kind of sounds like a spaceship taking off or something. Okay. So at least I was right about that. I would have gotten it eventually. I probably would have used the Monocro file before the bruises on the body, but still. Look at all those Shinji heads.
Hey, I'm in your save files now. That'll be $5 for every time you see my face.
Nikke, if you want evidence, I think I've got some. Shinji's body actually had a lot more wounds than just the ones on his neck.
Ones other than the ones on his neck? Those were from the fire, though, right?
You don't get bruises from being burned.
No, that's what I thought earlier. But there were a lot of scratches on his body.
What color me impressed to think that someone other than me would notice those amongst all the burn marks.
You're still calling them burnt marks. Oh, jeez. Scratches? There were scratches? I still don't get it. What does that mean?
When I cut Shinji's throat, there were no wounds other than the ones on his neck. I'm asking just to be sure. Nikke, did you make those?
Why would I do that? Of course not. And considering he was still alive, if I did that, then I would be...
You would have most likely become the culprit.
Correct. The last person to harm the victim becomes the culprit. You haven't forgotten about it, have you?
Wait, so is that it? Even after getting fatal injuries by me and Sora, Big Bro was still alive. Then he hurt himself, so by those rules, he becomes the culprit?
It doesn't feel right, though. People usually don't die from mere scratches. Even if you create those wounds yourself, they aren't critical enough to kill you. His death would have come from his neck wound anyways.
Easy there, Newsy. Recall that the Monaco file didn't report the cause of death in this case. Whether or not the cause of death is recorded on the monochrome file is in itself a very important clue. Just like the time of death last trial.
He's metagaming.
If this case ended with Albino Girl cutting his throat, there'd be no reason to hide the cause of death.
That's true. That's just facts.
But in the case of the cause of death was missing, so that means that there was a need to hide it in accordance with the culprit's intent.
That's the weird part, though.
But like Nikkei said, seeing that the cause of death was those scratches does sound a bit off.
No, the cause of death would have been from suffocation for inhaling too much carbon monoxide caused by the fire.
Caused by the fire? Well, I guess that's what we thought when we first found the body. I thought he was burned, not suffocated to death.
Well, then you don't know about fires.
If it was burned to death, there should have been more time till the body discovery announcement. Simply put, it takes too long for a human being to burn to death.
Correct. It's common knowledge that a human dies more easily from suffocation than from the incineration in a fire.
Which is kind of a mercy. Thanks, nature.
I guarantee that it is the truth as the flame wizard myself.
I forgot. That's kind of fair.
Normally, you'd be able to see distinct marks on the face if someone died from inhaling excess carbon monoxide. But he burned his damn face up, so I can't really rely on that. But it was burned to the point where the face was unrecognizable, so we aren't 100% sure.
Then how can you be so sure that he died from suffocation?
Because that's the only way. The only way he could have ended his life as fast as possible. He probably first tried hurting himself by crashing his body into stuff, but he figured out that wasn't gonna cut it.
Oh, I get why he used fire now. Because it's what he's familiar with. He's familiar with the dangers from fires. So of course, that's where his mind went when he was trying to think of ways to end his life as quickly as possible. Smoke inhalation. I was wondering why he'd use fire because it seems so painful, but if it makes more sense if he was on a timer.
Call it luck or whatever, he had actually caused fire by doing so he probably decided to end himself that way.
Yikes.
There is proof to suggest this happened. Actually, it was all over the power room.
Proof that Shinji tried to hurt himself. Shobai just said there were traces of it inside the power room.
It's like the debris or whatever. Yeah. The bloody debris.
Considering the relation between the fire and the scratches,
I still don't know how those glass shards got there, though.
Shinji must have bashed his body against the power room's machines to hurt himself. Most of the machines inside the room were badly damaged, not to mention there being traces of blood on them.
I guess maybe he broke the glass shard when he was attacking Yuki or Nikkei. I don't know.
If someone the size of Shinji crashes into those machines with full force, I assume it would be enough to break them and cause a fire. Maybe. Hold on! Now we're getting evidence left and right here. To be honest, I was half sure at first, but now it really feels like Shinji was alive at this point.
Why don't you want him to be alive, Nikkei? That helps you.
I see. Sora, Yuki, and Nikkei said they didn't know about the fire, and all the others have alibis, so they didn't even enter the power room in the first place. But if Shinji was still alive and did some act to end his own life, it all makes sense. What a remarkable conclusion that explains everything! Even someone as brain dead as Iroha could understand this.
Don't call me brain dead. Bubblehead is at least kind of flattering. Makes me sound, fun.
In a sense, this trial only took longer because of the three of you who were stubborn and saying your own thing. Instead of looking at the damn evidence. It's very frustrating. Should have interfered from the start. Wasted a lot of time.
Although there's still, like, another segment to it after this, so I don't know. I guess Sai and even Yuki weren't rational enough to check if Shinji was actually dead or not. That's why we never even thought about Shinji being alive and killing himself.
No way. So it was just Shinji's suicide all along?
There's still some things I don't get, but if Shinji really did take his own life, then Sora and Nikke are both not culprits. Nobody here has to die. Monocro, if the culprit's dead, then nobody has to die, right?
Well, if the culprit really did kill himself, then yes. I'm not into pulling apart dead bodies or that kind of stuff. Only living bodies.
You heard him, Sora. I don't know why you did such a thing, but you...
That doesn't mean I'm going to forgive her. Do you realize what kind of despicable act you've done? If we do both survive from this, I'm not going to go over this matter that easily. Get over.
I'm sorry. Of course, I'll pay my price. I'll do anything you want.
Not really the happy closure I wanted, but at least it's over, right? Then let's vote for the...
No.
Is it going to be Taria? I don't know who it's going to be.
Wait.
Okay, it's Yuki.
Big Bro killed himself? Sure, we might have evidence. But why? He tried to kill me and attack Nikke. Why would someone like that suddenly decide to kill himself?
Also, where'd the gun go? Still want to know about that.
He basically threatened 2 lives, then saved 3. I don't understand.
I mean, it's possible Shinji wasn't trying to kill you, but I don't know.
That's not the issue here. The issue is getting the culprit right.
But motive is important.
No, this is a class trial. This is an important matter, no doubt. If there's a reason for doubt, then we should discuss it. I mean, don't you guys feel it's weird? Why did he suddenly have to take his own life? What if we're missing something?
Looking at the evidence, Shinji must have killed himself, that's for sure. I hope that's for sure. Bending the class trial right here and now, all 3 of us would survive. But we've been through a lot. That would be the best outcome we could get, results-wise. Should we be fine with it? Oh man, I wish it were that easy. Yuki has a point. Things are never this easy for us. With Shobai's help and a bit of reasoning, we were able to deduce that Shinji took his own life. But we've only reached the conclusion. We still don't know the whole story. Please let that be the conclusion. I would be totally happy with that. Did Shinji really take his own life? If he did, then for what reason? And then next trial we can, like, kill Shobai or something, I don't know. And be done. Right? And then we'll be fine.
Why isn't anyone speaking? Does anyone know why Shinji committed suicide?
Well, I know why he would do that. I just don't know why he attacked them in the first place.
Shobai, you know something, right?
Dude, can't you solve anything by yourself?
Oh, that was Chiru's voice.
Can't you solve anything by yourself? You incompetent idiots. You think I'm one of those futuristic cat-like robots that grants wishes or something?
What?
You don't have to know all to deduce that this case was caused by Shinji Kasai committed suicide. Every alibi fit. The plot was well scripted. The case is sealed. Don't you get it? All's well that ends well. Who gives a crap about why he killed himself?
They censor crap.
So y'all should vote and get the hell out of here.
Did Shobai do it? That would be a twist and a half. Every alibi fit? The plot being scripted? Wait, something's up. Oh, hi.
Sora, I see you're pondering something. You see, I've been wondering about something as well. Don't you hate it when you know something's up, but you don't know what it is? How about we share just what has been bugging us?
An assist from Mikado. Sometimes your day just goes a direction you weren't expecting.
I've got it.
I thought about this, and I don't think Shinji has a reason to kill himself. If Shinji suddenly decided to kill himself, something must have happened to turn him down. When Shinji died, something. After all, this case was the work of no more than 5 different people. Don't you think so, Sora? The stun gun, right? Yeah.
Agree!
The Mikado agree. That's almost as cursed as the, which one of them was it? Like the Mew one where it has like consent and it's just like Mew giving a thumbs up. Oh boy. So, assuming by my logic and my theories, Shobai Shinji was not the actual traitor. Sora is the traitor, which means Shinji doesn't have a reason to attack the group. Everything about what he's done makes sense except for that, and I don't know why. Did Nikke attack him first? If Nikke did attack him first, then what happened to the gun? If Nikke did attack him first, then why is he attacking Yuki? Maybe Nikke led him on to more than we know and told him that Yuki's the reason they're all here? Because they're trying to remake Utsuro, right? I don't know.
I'm confused. I'm dazed and confused.
So yeah, I don't know what to say. I hope it's a suicide. Please, Shinji, come through for me and protect everyone. Okay, thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time for the conclusion of this trial. And then after that, for the post-trial. Okay, bye.